Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this edition once again. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. Share it with your friends and family. Get the word out. Despite being a local channel, please get the word out that this channel is here, that we can learn about the latest that's going on with this economy, the interpretation, what to do, and how we're going to continue to survive in the midst of this adversity that's affecting this economy in every such a way. So today we're going to be talking about a housing crisis, as well as the current mortgage rates and the food crisis. Also a food shortage crisis, but the shortage of good food, not just in the traditional food desert areas in the inner city, but in elsewhere around the world. Looking at around this country, United States, we're looking at food crisis and the price of food that is not coming down at all in America. Let me know what you think about this as we continue on. Now, as we're under this lull here for the week, we can see as people are waiting for the next Federal Reserve meeting to see what they're going to do, unchanged or unchanged, we're going to see how this housing crisis plays into the scheme. Now, we see right here this article that Biden, according to CNN Business, he says that Biden says that, quote, he can fix America's housing affordability crisis, but will it work? As you can see, we have a lot of, back in the past, when the market was hot, during the beginning of the pandemic in 2020 and 2021, people would put out a sale for sale owner sign, and people were closing on houses in less than 30 days, paying over $100,000 above asking price, and things were just flying off the shelf. It would appear in certain markets in the Northeast and out west and in the Midwest and stuff like that. But now Americans are thinking about the housing affordability crisis that is happening because baby boomers aren't parting with their homes. They got that great interest rate. The houses are most likely close to being paid off or paid off already. And if they're saying, baby boomers are saying, why should we move and give to the millennials or Gen Xers or anybody else when we got this great rate and we own all this equity in the housing, and the prices, they according to Zillow and Redfin, they tell me my house is worth $600,000, $700,000. So why should I sell and move to an area where I can't afford a house? While I get less of a house and have to pay more, I won't get that great interest rate that I got 20 or 30 years ago. So insurance costs are skyrocketing, mortgage rates are sky high. Half of the renters say they can't afford the monthly payment. Some have given up on even ever owning a home. President Joe Biden said in Thursday's State of the Union address, the government, quote, has a fix up its sleeve. They said, we're here to help. That's one of the words, the most infamous words that we have. He says, I know, quote, the cost of housing is important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, but I'm not waiting, he says. So he's going to offer more tax credits and other home buying initiatives. The first is a $10,000 refundable credit for middle-class home buyers, essentially an interest rate buy-down. The administration estimates that this program will help more than 3.5 million buyers close on the home on their first home over the next 2 years. Okay, so for homeowners, there's a $10,000 tax credit aimed at getting people to put their starter homes on the market. So they want you to give up your nice 3% interest rate, nice 3.5%, 4% interest rate. They want you to give that up and put your home on the market to help the new first-time home buyers. This is what the government wants you to do. It's estimated to serve about 3 million sellers. Additionally, the president is calling on Congress to pass legislation that could result in the building and renovation of more than 2 million homes to close the supply gap and lower housing costs. President Biden argues that this will address two primary factors in home affordability crisis. Decades of underbuilding means there aren't enough homes in the market, and mortgage rates have surged to multi-decade highs. Rent is 30% higher than it was before the pandemic, and home prices are now more than 40% higher. So we know that's the situation here. Obviously, the housing market is in a flux situation. You're kind of just when you darned if you do, darned if you don't. What I mean by that is, for renters, they can't control the price of the rent. It's been going up in all 50 states over an average of 2 to 15% on average. Okay, but also with mortgages, yes, the mortgage price stays the same, but we can't control the taxes. Property taxes going sky high in these states like Texas and Florida and California and Arizona and Illinois. So, and we can't control the insurance, of that, as well as we can't control the depreciation value of the house in terms of the maintenance costs and depreciation value and all of those things too. So either way, it's going up. Both are going up, and this is what the killer is. The Fed is fighting both problems because traditionally, obviously, if interest rates go up, prices of homes have gone down, but we have not seen that. We've seen a little bit of it, okay, maybe 5% drop in prices, but we haven't seen that big 50%, 40% drop that's needed, the correction that's needed that get back in line with salaries. And you can see current mortgage rates for today you're still looking at the national average above 7%. And that's if you have, great credit above a 715, 720 FICO score. If you got something below, you coming in there with a 620 or 640 or something like that, you're probably going to get a 9 or 10% rate, guys. I mean, this is just the reality of it. And anything less than that. So mortgage rates are sky high. And prices, as we know, was not coming down, even though, traditionally that was traditionally expected. So now we have and there's a public health crisis here. 1 in 8 U.S. households struggle with food insecurity, government report found. And what I want to highlight here is that we know that we obviously can't control hunger and food and poverty. We can't solve that in one swipe. But what I want to highlight with this article is that, we all know that we're all trying to grow our own food, whether it's through hydroponics, indoors or outdoors, growing our own food to some extent to get us off these GMOs. The United States is one of the few countries that produces GMOs, allows GMOs in their food, genetically engineered, modified foods, okay? Other countries don't allow that. As you know, in Japan and places like that, they ban this type of food from being in the markets. In Europe and Japan and, and Africa, they don't have that. They have natural foods. We don't have natural foods. So it's just something to think about, that maybe you need to start growing your own food, and especially with this genetically engineered meat that's coming out now, folks. We don't need more genetically engineered food. We need more natural food, more whole foods, okay, at a real. So grow your own food. I noticed that a lot of people are starting in urban areas, are starting urban gardens. They're getting together, starting community gardens. That's an excellent idea. We need more of those. We don't need any more handouts that's gonna harm our kids and put these chemicals in their food. You notice a lot more recalls, even from Trader Joe's. Recall last week, it was a recall on dumplings or something. Meat recalls. Notice more vegetable recalls because these foods are genetically pumped up and all that nature. And you guys know that. So this is what we're experiencing here. Even though food insecurity is growing, I'm encouraged. I want to let you know that we're encouraged in other parts of the country that people are growing their own foods now through hydroponics indoors, an apartment if you're in hydroponics, or outdoors, growing more potatoes, tomatoes, spices, or whatever you can grow, depending on where you're located in the country. So that's encouraging, especially with minority families. Black families are also getting into gardening. African American families and Hispanic families are also getting into gardening, home gardening, and stuff of those natures too. It's very important that you do this because, as you can see, our food supply is going more the genetically modified area, and it's going into that area where they're growing lab-grown food, and that's not healthy for your human body. You need natural fruits and vegetables the way God intended to be in touch with nature and to be in touch with your body, and and to grow food like that. So I just want to encourage you to continue to do that as you continue preparations. Don't overlook natural foods, growing your own food, or planting or learning gardening. Even if you feel like you're in an urban area where you feel like you only have a limited space, you can still grow 1 to 3 things in your home successfully. And I've tried it and it's worked, and it makes a big difference in how the food tastes in America and in other places as well. So God bless, continue to prepare, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thank you very much for listening.